Welcome to Ingredient Insiders. I'm John Magazzino.
And I'm Andrea Parkins.
Thanks for watching this clip of our interview with Chef Antonia Lofaso.
For the full episode, find us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Links in the description below.
Actually, there's a metaphor to why I decided to do Tournament of Champions 6, even though I swore off I would never do it again. It broke my heart, like a bad relationship that I keep going back to. And golf, because I started watching Full Swing and I was like, oh my God, they come out. There's so many of them in the tournament and only one person wins. And they're amazing. They're the best golfers in the world, right? Yep. And anyone who golfs knows how hard it is just to be like a scratch golfer or one over. And all of these golfers are like minus 12, 17 points, which means like they're getting an eagle on every single hole, which is like insane to me to even think about this. And it's not about, I was watching the fans and they were like, it's not about who actually wins the PGA Tour or the LIV Tour or whatever it is. It's about watching some of the greatest players play, and like being in it with them and like watching the incredible shot or whatever it is. And I was like, and I've had fans say this to me on the street where it's like, I've never won Tournament of Champions. I've gotten so close, but I've won so many other things. And they're like, you've been doing this for 17 years. We don't even care if you win or lose. We just like watching you play. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God. And then it kind of clicked to me because I'm like, how could you want to watch me do this if I don't win, right?
Because you're so in it. I'm a huge TOC. My wife and I, we love it. And like watching you, I'm in it with you. I'm like, come on, you could do and I really think that it makes people root for you even more. Yeah. And that's really what it's about. It's the people rooting for you.
Well, and I didn't understand it, right? So in my head, it was like, but if I don't win, nothing matters. Right. None of it matters. None of the work matters. The dish didn't matter. Right. The experience doesn't matter because if I don't take the prize home at the end, like who cares? And then I'm like, oh my God, all these people who've followed me since I did Top Chef in 2007, when you think about the origin of cooking competitions, started in the United States in 2004 with Iron Chef. Mm-hmm. And so within 3 years of that, I'm on television competing within the first 3 years of the first ever competition in the United States. And now it's 2024. Obviously it's 2025 right now, but we shot this in 2024. And I'm still ranked number one on the biggest culinary competition show to date, which is TOC. Yep. And how incredible is that, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I'm like, in my mind, I don't care about any of this. Like, who cares?
You want the belt.
I want the belt. Yep. It doesn't matter. Until I kind of compared it to this golf obsession that I have and watching these incredible golfers have a bad day. It doesn't make them bad golfers. It just, it's just
it wasn't their day.
It wasn't their day. Or I understand that you missed that shot or just this one little turn the wrong way and it goes south. And it's literally, to me, the same thing. So it gave me actually a lot of peace, which was interesting, where it's like, I can't control this outcome. And also when you golf, and I make this comparison all the time, people are like, but you're playing against. And I'm like, you're actually not, you're playing with people, but you're really playing just for yourself. Yep. Golfers, like we play with our ball and our sticks and like it's our number. And it's not necessarily, there is some friendly banter and some, side bets that happen, but it's really about like your performance of the day. And I say that all the time on any competition show because people are like, well, what do you change when so-and-so you're competing against so-and-so? I was like, I don't change anything. Right. I don't even look at the person across from me. When I'm given a task, I take the task, I create my own thing, and then I worry about what the judges say. But I could care less who's across from me, who's next to me, what they're cooking, what their style of cooking is. I don't even think about it.
But have you gotten into the whole like psychology part of golf? Like, have you read like Bob Rotella books yet?
No.
And all that stuff?
I'm going to write this down.
Yeah, that's the next because that mindset and what you're talking about, like enjoy just the process of the game. You're going to get good bounces. You're going to get shitty bounces. Like you just have to play, stay present, and play your own game.
Right.
And I think it does relate to the cooking competition.
It's like there's 18 holes, right?
Yeah.
I've only played one full game of golf in my entire life.
Yes.
And let's just say the first few holes are bad.
Yeah.
is it hard to get out of that?
Of course.
100%.
Of course.
Or are you like,
The first tee shot could set up the rest of your day.
The way you drive.
Yeah.
Before you even start playing, I was like, oh, it's going to be a shitty 18 like holes right now.
You could also get ahead of yourself. You could be playing amazing, and then all of a sudden, this is where I'm saying, like,
is that like almost like the randomizer? He spins it, and you're like, oh my god, what's it like? I watch you, and you're like, hands are on your head, and you're like, what's gonna happen? Like,
believe it or not, in both processes, I use the word surrender. Right? Because if you
control again,
right, and it's all control, and I mean, especially chefs, we're like all control freaks. We're all control freaks with ADHD, which is like so.
It's a great combination.
It's the most frustrating.
Yes,
I'm very affectionately compared to Dory from
Finding Nemo.
Just keep swimming. Yeah.
Alex Warner-Shelley is just like, you're that fish in Finding Nemo. I was like, bitch, you're that fish in Finding Nemo. We're literally the same person. What are you talking about? Where we're just like, and then did you see this? And then we're like, oh my God, over here, you know? And then we start a whole other thing. So it's one of those things where, again, I bring it back to like sort of the surrender and the process of it, where I can't think about what I just did or the mistake I just made, or I had a whole dialogue about how I didn't have the stamina to play 18 holes for a while because it's actually exhausting. And
it's a long day.
It's a very long day, and it is very physically, you are moving even though you're in a cart. And so the first 9, I'm like parring 4 or 5 of them. I'm like, incredible shots. Like, then I get to hole 10. I'm like on the back 9, and I'm like, I can't even make a par 3 that's like 90 yards away. Do you know what I mean? That I could literally hit with my pitching wedge, and it like goes off into like the next, and I'm like, why suddenly can't I play? So my boyfriend's like, I don't know, you like lose it on the back 9. I was like, first off, don't start that dialogue about me, because then all of a sudden in your head you're like, I'm a golfer that loses it on the back 9. I'm a golfer that loses it on the back 9. And so all of a sudden that's like, I'm like, that's not my story. Like, you know, so it's like this weird like therapy, like word association. I was like, no. And so now it's like not even a thing. I was like, I play 18 holes totally fine. But it was about like building up the stamina. But it's the same thing on something like Tournament of Champions or especially like a wild card kitchen, right? Where we go and there's 1 round and you could totally script the first round, but now you have 2 more rounds to cook.
Sure.
And you have an opportunity to win money in those 2 rounds. So it's like, if all of a sudden you give up and you're like, oh, I already had a bad day. Oh, this is already shit. Like, no, it's like start all over. None of this counts. So you look at every hole like that, and I look at every cook like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
like fresh start, clean slate.
You have
walk
to,
in.
because trust me, there's a lot of times like in Tournament of Champions where all of a sudden I'm like, and I could have done this, and I would think about it for days afterwards. And literally, like Alex, who talks to me a lot during the shows, she'll be like, you won the challenge. You moved on to the next round. Why are you still talking about this chicken? And I was like, because.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Ingredient Insiders.
You can find the products we discussed on today's episode at chefswarehouse.com or your favorite specialty retailer.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Ingredient Insiders and Chef's Warehouse at Where Chefs Shop.